one and all. Welcome back to Jamaican Redneck. Now, for today's segment, I really intended to go over and make 2 videos and show 2 more of my collection with the list of rifle that we may have, just to kind of get you up to speed and some of this collection where I kind of would think would have interesting to folks. So, but anyway, yes, I'm going to take the COVID shot, so I'm sure that till me I will document my thoughts on that. So my brethren come check me Dave. So what I think me I going to know is Dave no wear mask and him no take the shot. But then again, we are brethren and we have to respect each other thoughts. So I just collect film thoughts on why him take the position where he take.
Yes, brother. So I think set, man, because you don't know. I mean, not to say a person not to wear mask, but I don't in certain places. You know, wherever it requires, then I'll wear the mask. You know what I mean? But this COVID thing, I learned about it from I was a tender age, maybe like 7, 8. You understand? And whatever they taught me then is playing out right now. So it has proven to me now about this vaccine and microchip and all these technologies. You know what I mean? It's all a money making. It's all a myth.
But you see the difference is between me and you. Me and you kind of have somewhat of the same background. You grew up with Rasta, me grew up with Rasta because my cousin name was Rasta man and anything there. But me more involved in a technology and such. So I guess your perspective kind of diverged from where my perspective is at some point, right?
Yeah, not really diverse telling it, because, you know, technology is a must. You know what I mean? Things and time evolve. And, you know, without technology, we would reach this far.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I do respect technology and I do believe in it. But, you know what I mean? I'm just using that as, you know, one of the intro to say where we're coming from and, you know, what was supposed to happen, and now it has proven itself.
Word,
so yeah, so it's not like I'm bashing technology or, you know what I mean? But the vaccine thing, you know what I mean, in which I really press on so much, I've learned about that maybe like 40 years ago. You know, 40 something years ago.
That was about the time when polio did come out.
Exactly.
I was taking the polio vaccine.
Yes, so it was proven to me also.
You had to at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere along there. I mean,
but at the time you never have a choice.
No.
As a child.
But I didn't take it. I didn't get it either.
You didn't get it?
No, and I didn't take any. So what I try to know is like.
Oh, because you're the folks that were involved in your upbringing was more towards a Rasta.
Exactly.
So I follow you.
You know what I mean? And then this young lady in my community at the time, you know, we're all youth, maybe 12, 13, and, you know, fit young lady I walk up and down and go around the place, and all of a sudden she take this polo shot and she hook up like this until now. You know what I mean? So the Tuskegee project and, you know, what them try and them trick us. So why should we believe in them now with their vaccine?
No, let me see how me look on this now. I kind of have a different type of perspective. You see, as somebody who involved in a technology, me also kind of have, at least for me, have some of a different access to information. Because for me go access information for what interests me, for what I want to kind of get a perspective on. Like, for example, when the whole COVID thing started, my interest was to watch Italy. Italy to me was like a baseline. You understand what I mean? Because if the Italian healthcare system couldn't keep up with it, then we know so well then eventually it will come over here because people are flying back and forth. So my kind of perspective comes from also the fact that I'm involved in a lot of experiment with my job. Like, you know, we have to set up experiment to figure out how complex things happen. Like, for example, there was a time when we couldn't figure out why some of the composite manufacturing, you know, we work with did have voids. I mean, I have to go all the way back to the manufacturer and the material to figure out why that did happen. So in doing so, we have to set up a whole lot of experiment to find out things. So we kind of evolved to the point now that realize that scientists, for me, considering that that's kind of a role that I play, you know, at some point in my life, we have to kind of have certain type of investment in them and a certain amount of trust. And again, I not tell you so you have to do it. I just share with you
exactly,
the conclusion that I have.
this is the other thing again. You know what I mean? Information, right? From whichever places you get your information from, it's like it must be a database, and that database must be fed at all time. So, I want a person to think about who is feeding that database to provide that information.
Interesting perspective.
You understand? So, they're informing you about whatever they want you to know or what they want you to believe.
Yes and no. Here's why. A lot of people sit on a daytime and wait on people to send them YouTube videos and such, and what their thoughts for the day are. I do the reverse. I wake up with a thought and I go research on the thought. So yes, where you're right, where you said a database have to be fed, and whatever information I'm getting is coming from that database. And that's an interesting perspective. I never even did thought about that. But my different process is not to start with the information, but to start with the thought and the interest.
Thought is natural. You understand? But you know, say information, what I would say is modified. You understand? So the reason why I come up with this is because I remember a couple of years ago there was a discussion about the great late Tootsie Bird, in which I grew up in his hand, in his family's hand, and you know, they went and Google to Google where Tootsie Bird came from, or where he was born, and Google information was he was born in Trenchtown. And I told the other rest of guys, I said, this is a lie. This is a blatant lie, and I can prove it. So I called back to my hometown, which is Treadlight, Maypen, Clarendon. That's where Toots, you know, was born, grew up, and then he, you know, went to Kingston. So when I called Toots' nephew, and I said, who in your family is a celebrity? He said, Uncle Toots, man. I said, where we are right now talking to me? He said, Treadlight. I said, which parish Treadlight situated in? He said, in Maypen, Clarendon. So the guys that was there listening to my conversation with the Bredren, and you know, it was a bet in a way. So I won the bet. So I proved to them.
So you have incentive in it.
Yeah, so I knew more than Google then. You know what I mean? Because this is natural and this is reality.
So you're saying then basically junk in, junk out.
Well,
yeah, because somebody have to feed the database.
yes, but they fed the wrong information to the database.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that happened numerous times, but people don't, you know, really sit down and speak about it.
Well, the database, yes, but me also do this. I also read, every morning I read Jamaica Observer, Jamaica Star. Sometimes I read the Gleaner. I also read the Huffington Post, New York Post, Washington Post, Politico, and the Huffington Post, the Daily News, and the Daily News. So me have a wealth of different reservoirs, if you will, that I reach out to collect me information.
Yes, but remember this. Whatever you read, it's also a person who write it.
Yes.
So it's similar. You know what I mean? I'm not telling a person not to read a lot, you know, because knowledge is power. You understand? So they're not telling you things 100%. So when you read, you have to process it, and then you come up with, you know what I mean, whatever you figure from that.
The good thing is that me can sit down here and catch our vibes and can reason out this thing here, and you know, from two different perspectives, and equally feel like we can defend the perspective and respect one another.
It's simple.
So we'll carry on the thought, Jamaican redneck, respect them a family.
Blessing, man. So, come on.
Alright. Social distance anyway here, sir. Bandit, you see you take side, you know.